This is the original CIN, the Collective Intelligence Network. And hello, my sinners. I've had a little bit of a name change since my last upload. I've decided to change it from a Collective Intelligence Network to something which I think is a little bit more appropriate, the Cyborg Intelligence Network. Still the same acronym, CIN, still its original CIN as well. So Cyborg Intelligence Network, which makes my sinners now Cyborg Intelligence Network node agents. So it's pretty much the same. However, I believe that because if you're watching this, you've got a smartphone, if you've got access to the internet, then effectively your intelligence has already been augmented by technology, which makes you and everyone else who has the same modes of operation as Cyborg as well. So there we go. It has been a while since I have posted anything here on this platform, though that's not to say that I've not been doing anything with this whole initiative that I've been working on for quite some time now, and I still am plugging away at it. I've been a lot more active on LinkedIn, and I'm thinking that that might be a good place for me to gain some sort of traction. And just put up an interesting post today and with some insights which showed that only less than 1% of people actually, there's 900 million people on LinkedIn, for example, but only less than 1% of people are contributing via creating articles on the platform, which is a lot. And so I've actually posted something on LinkedIn about this. And one of the reasons why I think there's so little interaction in terms of people putting their thoughts, comments, and ideas and opinions onto this platform is because, and it goes both ways, you've got employers and employees. And I think people are a little bit hesitant about putting things onto a professional platform where potentially it may jeopardize or harm their credibility, their reputation, or their opportunity to get a job, or if they're the employer sort of side of things, get a contract or win a client or partnerships, whatever the case may be, for fear of reprisals or judgment from others. That said, though, I seriously believe that the Cyborg Intelligence Network is a way for us to be able to elevate our way of innovating and harnessing the latent abilities that people have in a platform that negates the necessity for being overly concerned about what it is you're putting out there. I've been working through the model. I'm in the process of developing the app, which I've also got the book, which will be released very soon as well. And part of the funds for the book sales will go to the development of the app. I was kind of hoping that I'll be able to develop more of the app myself, though that said, I didn't really want to go to the full expense of forking out for a whole new laptop. And by so doing, I did buy a laptop, and I thought, wow, I'm really smart doing this. Paid a couple $100 and got a Mac Pro, which was a 2017 model, and then I went to download Xcode and SwiftUI, only to discover that it's no longer supported. Unfortunate for me. So I've had to put things a little bit on the back burner there, and decided to go onto Fiverr and other places to try and outsource this, because I'm really keen on making this all happen. And the price points are on there for 6 to 8 pages or 8 to 10 pages, which is enough that I think I would need for an MVP, a minimum viable product of the app. And there was prices that were given on there. Then I get in contact with these places, and they come back with significantly higher prices, like 10 times over and more what the package was. And well, that's how that is. Though once I'm further down the track with everything, it won't be so much of an issue. But hey, we'll get there eventually, he says. And so to get a little bit more on track, I also recently was informed that my paper is one of the top downloaded papers on SSRN. I believe it's Social Sciences Research Network. And so that was encouraging to hear that my thoughts around this whole initiative are resonating. And I guess we're sort of starting to get some feedback, which is positive, because this has been a bit of a lonely sort of trail that I'm walking at the minute. Albeit I'm able to talk to a lot of people. I do talk to people every single day about what it is I'm working on, what it is I'm doing, and how it would work in the area and the field that they're actually working in. And I actually had a 95-year-old client who was a journalist and struggled a little bit with some of the concepts. And so I actually changed some of my chapters in the book to reflect this, and had another point which is made as well, which I'll get to in a moment. And so they didn't quite understand. So I said, it's a bit like when you're in a business meeting, you're at a meeting at work or something like that, and you've got the table with everyone at it, and then everybody goes in to try and work out some issue that they're working on, some project, whatever the case may be. And then everybody at the table contributes their ideas, and then you refine them, come up with something that everybody sort of agrees upon. And then what you do is, once you've got a summation of your best thoughts, then you take that to the expert. Now, and then the expert will have a look at it and appraise it, and then come back and tell everybody, hey, this is what I think about this whole thing, and that will inform people to a higher level. In this case of the Cyborg Intelligence Network, you've got individual people solving problems with individual thought, that's your SPIT, solving the problem altogether, that's the SPAT, and then the expert is AI. So you take all those things which have been developed and probably put into the spittoon, which is a comment section, and then you put that into the large language model, and it'll go through, have a look at it, see what it is that it recognizes or understands, or the patterns, or what's being said that's not being said, etc., etc., and then takes that back to people at the table to ingest and contemplate, validate, and then elevate their thoughts and what they think they could do with it. Very also excited by the fact that my book has pretty well been completed. So I will put links in descriptions when I'm ready to publish it. In terms of, I'm self-publishing. I've got an ISBN number, which is a digital reference number for it. I'm kind of hoping that it will explain a lot better potentially than what I do sometimes. If you're having trouble understanding what the concept is around the Cyborg Intelligence Network, please let me know. It is a paradigm shift. There are many, many layers. I had someone else who mentioned that how can we be sure about trust in the system? And because I have spoken to an academic professor who heads up a blockchain, and that's the ideal that I thought for the platform, was to actually have a blockchain. Though that said, it's really expensive, and it's a lot to actually implement something like that. And I'm just not at that level. As you may or may not know, I'm just one person. I'm doing this all by myself. I've thought about this all by myself with the help of artificial intelligence, AI, mostly ChatGPT, but effectively it's come out of here. And I have been solving the problem with individual thought, but as I know, we're collectively a lot smarter together. And so that's part of the genesis of this whole concept, is to be able to provide a platform where everybody can provide insights around what it is they know. And then in terms of the trust and the blockchain, because I've had to come up with a workaround, which is a little bit ironic, in terms of what I'm wanting to do by enabling the 70% of the world's population who are in the third world, and I'm looking at creating, through the weighted universal basic income, economic parity. So when ideas are commercialized via this platform, the people who contribute to those ideas will actually be acknowledged, recognized. And how this works is through the pseudo blockchain. So this is my workaround for a blockchain. So whenever something's put on the internet, it's internet cached, which means it's actually stored. It's stored in the cloud, in databases around the world, everywhere. Then also it's time stamped. And then the third thing is copyright. So when someone creates something, it's actually copyrighted to that individual. And so that's your pseudo blockchain. So when people put forward an idea and then others contribute to it, then everyone who's doing that has all been internet cached, has all been copyrighted, has all been time stamped. And so the algorithm that will be within this app will actually be able to track all those contributions and then with some weighting work out what percentages each individual has actually provided in terms of inputs and outputs. And this model is, you're not going to have only commercialized opportunities. There's also going to be humanitarian opportunities. And yeah, I'm really excited by it, because with the app, when people get the app and people join the app, what I'm looking at doing is creating through open source intelligence and also through inputs by the people in your local areas and local communities. When you enter and put where you're located, what will happen is there'll be a field that will populate, which will say, these are the local issues in your area that you can immediately jump into. So, for example, if you're a Kenyan farmer and you've got an issue with not enough water wells in town, or the town hall needs electricity or something like that, then you can straight away in your local community start contributing to ideas that affect you in your area. But then also, because there's people who actually would have expertise in areas that would actually overlap with the localized problems, so those people can provide their expertise and their inputs into something as well. So, this is a multifaceted sort of way of humanity operating in many respects, and I'm very excited by it, as I hope you are too. And I've come to see it, my whole world at the moment seems to be really framed around this whole vision, this whole initiative. Everything I touch, see, and feel seems to relate in some way, shape, or form to what it is I'm working on. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always pushing it, as it were. Like, I'll give you an example. So, like, through the LinkedIn platform, there's a plethora of posts that are put up that the Cyborg Intelligence Network would go a long, long way towards resolving and working things through. And I put up a post today about the innovator's dilemma, wherein this is being developed now in real time, and it's a really small percentage. Like, I'm ahead of the curve. I know that I'm way ahead of many people with what I'm proposing and what I'm espousing. But there'll be those that get it. There'll be those that actually see what it is I'm doing and what I'm creating and what this future world can be and will look like by implementing and affecting this whole concept, which is mind-blowingly good, I must say. I've got to admit it is. I'm so pumped by it. And so I put up a post around the early adopters, and then the ones who will come after those, and then the laggards, and it's a slowly process. I just hope that it's not too slow, if you know what I mean. So just because I haven't been posting as many things here on YouTube, it's still something that I'm going to be doing. I want to put things up that actually have some sort of relevance, some sort of structure, flow, and theme to them. Obviously, it's always about the network and other things like the Cognitive Gradient Innovation Index, which I haven't really touched on in a little while, though it's certainly something that's also in development and concurrently being worked through and worked on. But gosh, it's hard to be the cutting edge in society. And paradoxically, and this is another post I put up, that what I'm doing with the Collective Intelligence Network doesn't exist, and it's the very thing that does need to exist. And what I'm doing is making it exist, and it's It is something, and it is going to be something that will find our old way of doing things was so outdated, so out of touch, so disconnected, so of another era and another epoch and another time, that what this is, this new reality, this new way of operating, this new way of connecting like-minded people on projects they're passionate about, of connecting people locally to issues that are in their own backyard that collectively they can work on and provide input to and for. And also, don't forget, this is about using human minds, human brains, human knowledge, human understanding, human empathy, but augmenting that with artificial intelligence. So we're tapping into technology at its epitome of human technological advancement and development, but it's not taking over us. We're the ones controlling it. We're the ones reaching into it for it to tell us more things about things that we're working on, and then giving us more elevated insights. And this is really important to understand, because I think there's a lot of fear mongering around artificial intelligence, and that's something else which this is a little bit unique, I suppose, what I'm doing, because many other entities, corporations, are wanting to use AI for their own purposes and their own economic means. And I've had people say to me, "Oh, aren't you scared about someone, stealing your idea?" And I just sort of shake my head, because what I'm looking at doing is creating economic parity between the third world and the first world. 70% of the world's population, that's a big number. 7 out of 10 people live in the third world. That's a lot. Now, it's important to understand as well that economic opportunity isn't unilateral at the moment, but intelligence is unilateral. There are so many geniuses in the third world. There's as many geniuses in the third world as there are in the first world. But for opportunity, they're not able to realize their intellect, and they don't have the mechanism or the means. The Cyborg Intelligence Network is that means. It's something where if you've got a smartphone and you've got access to the internet, then you can jump straight in with whatever it is you're thinking about, your passion project. And then there'll be a tribe of like-minded others. There'll be millions of other people around the world who are as passionate or maybe more passionate than you are about something. And collectively, you'll be contributing to this. Diverse inputs equal more diverse outputs. Have a look at the book Crowdsourcing. It's all laid out for you in that one. And so it's a really, really powerful way for us as a society and humanity to collectively work on things. And this platform is the thing that's going to do that. And there's a lot of altruistic intent with this. So when people say, "Aren't you scared someone's going to steal it and run off with your idea?" Well, yeah, hey, you go and uplift economic parity between the third world and the first world. Wow, what a loss. I'm so devastated, because you know what? Go out there and do it, please. I'm trying to do this by myself at the moment. I know there's other people doing great work. However, this is a platform that's going to unify the world globally, unify our focus, unify our intent, and also unify people around the subjects and the projects that they're passionate about. Nothing on earth exists like this at the moment, yet we have everything we need to do that at our disposal right here, right now, in this current epoch, in this current time. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I see the bigger picture and I can see how this will work and benefit humanity as a whole. And I haven't even touched on replicating what the ancients knew around the pyramids and Stonehenge and energy amplification and universe consciousness and remote viewing and out-of-body experiences and a whole other plethora of things that this whole network is going to dive into. So on that note, I will see you in the next one. Hey, catch me on LinkedIn. I'm writing a lot of interesting things on there and posting a lot of interesting comments. And I think it's just a matter of time before people start to get what it is I'm doing and start to reach back out to me. Hey, I encourage you to do it and get involved and participate and help build what will be our new Humanity 2.0. On that note, see you in the next one. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Become a sinner. We need more.